Come up here, John, real fast. I asked John, who's coordinating the missions lane of our church, the outreach. Everybody say outreach. Everybody say life missions. Give me the book there. John, you are a testimony of what I've just talked about, of somebody that used to give money. I know you did, because you gave it for years after you came here. But last year, missions took on a new understanding for you. Just tell us a minute or so about what happened.
Well, as most of you know, my wife passed away last June and had a real heart for a mission in Zambia called Every Orphan's Hope. And when she passed away, we got her life insurance money, and I really felt that it was fitting that we give it to Every Orphan's Hope to build an orphan home. And my children, and this is only 2 months to the trip date, my children came to me and asked me, why are we just giving the money? Why aren't we going to build the home? And it was quite a shock to me. I didn't think it was possible, so I called the ministry leader and said, I know this is probably not possible because the trip's going in less than 2 months, but my kids want to come. And he said, well, we'll make it work. And I was like, oh. You know, I'd given money for a lot of years, but Molly and I, neither had ever gone on a mission trip. So this was a brand new experience. So I got on a plane and went to Zambia, and we built an orphan home in Molly's name, and life will never be the same.
So when life's never be the same, what has it done in you?
God met me there in a big way. It has changed everything. I came back with a renewed heart for the Lord. I mean, not just missions. It changed how I feel about God, how I feel about myself as a child of God. It was just amazing to see, you know, what we think is trials. You know, I thought I went through a pretty heavy trial, and I'm with children that are 4, 5, 6 years old that lost both parents, some in their arms, and now they're living on a concrete floor or outside, and I'm thinking, what? I don't have it too bad. And so it just changed everything, because through them, I just saw God in their eyes. It was amazing.
You wrote a book called Black and White. In fact, this morning, when you leave here, we've got John and the missions team have put together a great, I call it a lobby show. They've got all these exhibits out there. For everybody that goes through, John will tell you more in a minute, and visits a few of these, they're going to end up getting this book. We're going to give them, everybody, the book, right?
Anybody who visits.
Yeah. Why did you call it Black and White?
Well, in Zambia, it hit me so hard how lukewarm my walk with Christ was. And it was very fitting there for a lot of reasons. Obviously, color, rich or poor, Satan or God. Everything was all or nothing. There was no lukewarm. There was no middle ground. And I realized that was probably the most life-changing thing for me. I realized how weak my walk with Christ was, because we have it way too easy here, and they don't have it easy there. Wow. And since then, I've gone to Nicaragua, and it's the same thing. It's just staggering.
So John really felt to come and help us, and he's been coming in every week, really part of our staff now. It's taken over. We run our church by lanes, and that fifth lane is the contributing lane. That's why I said we want everybody. Our goal is for everybody to be a contributor, not talking about tithing or serving on a welcome team or a worship team, but being involved in changing the community. And how many think we can have a church like that? That's a Code Green church. And so John has been working with us, and we've got a lot of missions all over the world, but we've kind of boiled it down to 3 major points. And then out of that, we've got a prison ministry and our school ministry, and you'll see all of that in the lobby. But tell us about these 3, kind of the 3-pronged approach.
Well, Servolution was started through Elevation last year, and we really wanted to make that more of a church-wide initiative. It's a way to get involved in missions every 3rd Saturday without going to Nicaragua or going to Zambia. You can go right to the neighborhood. It's not something you have to do every month, but it really will kind of get your feet wet. Pastor Angel has an amazing ministry in Coverstone, which is 3 minutes from here. I tell a quick story. My first day on this job, Pastor Barrett said, Pastor Angel's going to come pick you up at 2. I had no idea what it was about. I thought I was going over there to visit with the property manager who wasn't there. So Angel turned to me and said, well, why don't we just go knock on doors? And I never knocked on doors. And I'm like, well, I don't speak Spanish. I mean, so we just started knocking on doors, and you wouldn't believe. My life was turned around that day. We must have knocked on 24 doors. We prayed for at least 15 or 20 families. We laid hands on people. We saw a guy who had had a stroke. We laid hands on him and prayed for him. One lady stood in the door and sang for us. I mean, it was just, I was in tears. And he turned to me at the end of that. It was only an hour. He turned to me and goes, no, that wasn't that hard, was it?
I told John he's getting turned around so much he's going to be very dizzy, by the time he finishes.
And then Nicaragua is more of our World Mission initiative. And again, I was so blessed to go on that trip last January, and my life just keeps getting rocked.
So kind of the way we're looking at it is, how many think everybody could give a couple hours a month to bless the community? Not just the poor part of the community, but how many know rich people need they need discipling too? So the idea is to let the whole community know, and our goal is to get hundreds of people involved in Servolution. And so we've chosen these specific dates, third Saturday of every month. Then beyond that, we've adopted Coverstone as a local mission, and we've adopted Puerto Cabez, Nicaragua, as a global mission. And we've just decided, rather than being so scattered all over the place, we believe we can see these communities transformed. And I want you to go to the screen. We've got just a couple-minute video that kind of focuses on all three. Jeff, let's go ahead and run that right now.